So what I really like about Islamic concept about resilience and fitness to exist in this dunya, in this world, in this contemporary reality is that it disillusions us from fantasies, expectations, and immaturity pretty quickly. Because if anything, Quran and the experience of all the prophets in Quran, uh, so much as in Bible and in Torah, they are stories, they are narratives, they are examples of people who really had to go back and forward, inward and outwards to submit to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, submit to qadr, to destiny, submit to his permission to for all those things, atrocities, trials, tribulations, challenges, but also opportunities to happen to them. And those stories, for only God knows reason, they are very much embedded in our narrative, whether you European, whether you Asian, whether you African, you always have a chance to be influenced by those examples. And it doesn't matter where you're coming from in terms of your faith, but what Islam brings on the table in terms of resilience, it's looking a little bit beyond mental fitness, steadfastness, and internal efforts to remotivate yourself, to pick yourself up, to bounce back from any challenge you experienced. Because Islam beautifully balances free will, free choice with acceptance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, adl, justice. So in a sense, if we're talking about resilience on mental, emotional, spiritual level, uh, you need to tap into your wisdom, into your inner knowing, and that's what we call fitra. And at the level of your fitra, straight away you recognize that he has created you, so he's going to do with you whatever he pleases, but he created you out of rahmah, love, and that gives you comfort knowing that he wants the best of you. He placed you here not because you have no purpose, but actually quite contrary. You are building, you are working towards your eternal destiny, eternal welfare. Inshallah, let it be Jannah for all of us. Ameen. And you. But also, you are leaving something of a legacy jariyah, something of a sadaqah jariyah, something of a legacy for your close ones, for your next generations to come, something that people are going to be proud of. And it's really not translated into risk of money, into risk of anything that you can accumulate. This is something that people will probably admire you, but most of them they're going to be jealous of you. But the truth to be said, the only thing that is going to last, according to Islam, is the memory of things that you're going to leave for next generations in the form of charity, in the form of knowledge, and example in the sense of your adab, akhlaq. And that's what trials, tribulations, ibtila serve. They come as a service for you to grab them, learn from them, change things around for yourself internally, especially. So you have that chance to leave something tangible behind you. So those people who remember you, they don't remember you with envy, with jealousy, with hatred, but with love, admiration, and inspiration. So they can make dua for you, or maybe it's do some extra sadaqah for you. So this risk, but also ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that comes to us, shouldn't be only seen and perceived as a luxuries, as a comfort, but also as an ibtila. Ibtila is also part of your qadr. It's also, if you see it correctly, if you allow yourself to approach it from the almost higher perspective, from the perspective of what God wants from you, from the perspective of what is expected from you within the contract with your God, then this ibtila becomes ni'mah, because if you pass the test, if you learn from it, and if you have the right intentions, niyah, that you want to please Allah before anybody else, then this becomes ni'mah. This becomes ni'mah. There's so much wisdom in Surah Baqarah, and one of those verses, 211, says, and whoever exchanges the favors of Allah after it has come to them, then indeed Allah is severe in his penalty. Beautified for those who disbelieve is the life of this world, and they ridicule those who believe. But those who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are above them on the day of resurrection, and Allah gives provisions to whom he wills without account. So we can't stay in this reality after reading passages like this and still insist on achieving materialistic almost trophies, because they can turn into your worst enemy on the day of judgment. They can destroy what is the most precious in you, and that is your soul. Your soul can develop diseases of the heart. Al-Qulub Marad. This is very dangerous. And then if you go to Quran, also it supports this idea, this trap of risk in this dunya, saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only prolongs time for those who disbelieve in him, for those who reject his ultimate reality. And then they're going to meet the final moment of accountability. And that's why I like Islamic, and that's why I talk to you about Islamic perspective of resilience. It goes beyond bouncing back from any challenges in your life. So you're building your skills and you reselecting environment in your life, and you maybe changing definitions for your future ambitions, and you're growing in maturity. In Islam, we know this is a path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is from Allah. It is a call from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's calling you to find a better place within your heart, to reconnect with your fitra and detach yourself from this dunya, to see this reality for this. And this is the most precious gift. If you start seeing, if you start feeling from the perspective of being acutely aware of this reality is, there's no price for that, and you can't lose with that, because suddenly once this kicks in, once you disillusion yourself from this dunya, you become a different person, hopefully a person with whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased. It can't get better than this, but it has to happen with the disillusionment. It has to happen with pain, with resentment, with disappointment. It has to happen with the shock to your system. Otherwise, you will stay in your immaturity and headlessness. And this is not the best position to be in. You have more potential, and you have more to give, and you have more to offer. I hope it helps. If you want to know more, very soon, we're going to run in Ages Therapy a beautiful challenge about those topics and how to implement them on your personal, in your personal life, on your personal example, how to raise your spiritual resilience on a daily basis, how to remember what's really important, where trauma sometimes, not even shock strikes. Join me very quickly next week, inshallah, on this beautiful 5 days program from trials to tranquility. Click that link below, and hopefully I see you on the other side, holding your hand in a very specific VIP WhatsApp group with all the answers to your questions, but also guided homeworks. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.